Hey y'all, it's your girl Lavender, and welcome to my virtual 101 course brought to you by Lavender Locks. So, today we'll be doing a house call, and I'll tell you more details on how to book those, how to price those, and how to make your client feel like they're in the salon, although we're in their home. So, today we're going to show starter locks, instant locks on the mannequin, styles, proper way to wash, and break down dryer time, parting, combing, all of that. Y'all ready? Okay, so y'all know my name is Lavender. I like to make sure my clients are always calm. So I start off their wash with some form of music, something that's going to make them feel relaxed. So I like to play Janae Aiko, Calm Down, just to set the mood so that, your clients come, they've had a hard day, hard week, hard life, and they don't know how to relax. So we want them to relax completely so they can enjoy their service and just feel the love. So this is, all right. My client is coming now. So I like to start with gloves. I don't have any gloves today, but you got your shampoo, you got your towel, and your washcloth. All right, baby. Sit right in front of me. All right, stick your head up. You can put your head up. All right, so we're gonna start with the wash first. So make sure you test the water. You don't want it too hot or too cold. Ask your client if they're comfortable, and you can offer an additional towel in case they need it for their face. Make sure too that your client, since they're getting starter locks, make sure their hair is fully detangled. You don't want any tangles while you're washing it. And typically you don't want anyone who has had a relaxer. Their ends are going to be very straggly. It can be done, but I don't want nobody saying Lavender did my hair and it looked like that. All right, you're gonna start with shampoo. Again, my clients love to be spoiled and relaxed, so I like to do some type of essential oils, maybe eucalyptus, lavender, peppermint, spearmint, anything that can kind of relax them. So this is a eucalyptus mint shampoo. But first we're gonna start with the honey shampoo. And you want to make sure to get in there and actually scrub. I like to tell my clients you're starting a new journey. So this is your last time you'll receive a wash while your hair is loose and free. So I want to make sure they remember the wash, that they release anything they're holding on to, because you're about to start a brand new journey for them. And starter locks is more than just a lock journey. It's a spiritual journey. It's a life thing. So you as a loctician need to make sure that you're holding their hand in the beginning, but also letting them know that this is the beginning of something new. So I like to pay attention to the crown. Make sure you're scratching out, anything they may be holding on to. Make sure that you're really getting the temples and massaging those as well. And constantly check in with your client. Sometimes they might fall asleep, but you might just want to check in and ask them how they feel. Okay, so now we have a close-up. Just lathering in that shampoo. Checking in with your client, making sure they're okay. Now, if you were in the salon, they would be laying the opposite way so you can focus more on the top. So this is my second lather. After this, we're gonna wash it out. And we're gonna put your client under the dryer. But we're gonna do it on low heat. Because you don't wanna dry the hair out. You just wanna make sure that it's about 80% dry before you start the starter lock. A tip that I've picked up over the years, if their hair is a little coarse, I may leave like just a little bit of conditioner, or I'll put in a leave-in conditioner before putting them under the dryer, just to make things a little easier once we start the lock. So right here, my client's hair is a little brittle on the end, so we just did light conditioner, and I'm gonna get ready to rinse this out. However, if his hair was already locked, we don't use conditioner, especially in the starter lock phases. So starter lock phases, you're going to tell your clients that first things first, I offer a silk pillowcase for every starter lock service, but you can tell your clients to purchase one off of Amazon or go to their local beauty supply, but they're definitely going to need a silk pillowcase because some nights we forget to put our scarf on, so that's fine. They're also going to need some form of like a silk bonnet, something that can protect their babies, because when they're not out and about, their starter locks need to be protected. That way they can lock, that way you can keep your hands out your head, because a lot of clients do like to twirl their hair. They like to do all these different motions, and it's best to just leave your hair long, especially in the starting stages. All right, so you're gonna make sure you wring the hair out as much as you can. Same with locks. If you were to have full mature locks, I would squeeze them out. Make sure to get all the excess water out. Because again, you don't want to start the style, or you don't want to start the retwist until the hair is about 80% dry. Now, it really does depend on you and how your books are looking. There's been times where I have done a retwist on wet hair, but again, it just depends on the time frame as well as the texture, but I prefer doing it on dryer or 80% dry. Okay, now we're gonna hook up our portable dryer. And if you're going to be a traveler stylist, this right here is a go-to. I also have this linked in my Amazon storefront. Make sure y'all follow me on IG at lavenderlocks_, LAVENDERLOCS_, and Kenisha Tiana _, KENISHATIANA_. All right, so we're gonna set this up, and it's really easy. You just have to pop it in like that, plug it up. Okay, so before I put my client under the dryer, I just like to keep some of that moisture in by going in with some oil. So you take a little bit of oil, and it could be your favorite, just something that's gonna feel calming and feel good to the client. And see, we just go in and out and massage the scalp. So I always say that you're like their therapist, but you're also like their doctor, their homegirl, sister, all of that. So I like to make sure that I am affirming my clients. So I'll massage their scalp, and I'll just think about all of the things I want them to succeed in, all of the things that they told me they wanted during their consultation. That's another thing. Always require a consultation before doing starter locks. You never know if that person has had a relaxer in the last few months. You never know, like, their hair may be thin in certain areas. You don't even know their desired goals. So I like to have a consultation in the beginning, and the consultation will discuss your desired look. So always tell them to bring pictures. Make sure you let them know that no lock is the same. So they can send you a picture of somebody else, and you may not be able to give them the same exact thing. Sometimes it's sisters, not twins. Tell them also that it's their journey. So how they take care of their hair determines the length and everything else that they desire from this process. Also, your locks are like plants. You have to hydrate them because we don't want no SpongeBob, water. We don't want any of that. You have to hydrate them daily. You can mist them. A secret that they can do, they can get them a misting bottle, put some water, and put pink Himalayan salt. Shake it up and mist their hair. Another thing you want to do, you want to make sure that you discuss with them like do's and don'ts for starter locks. Make sure that they're already prepared. Make sure they have their pillowcase, their scarf. There's different books out here that they can read as well that'll tell them more in depth about a lock journey. But you want to make sure they're fully prepared before you start their journey. So always book a consultation. Consultations can range from $10 to $50. It just depends totally on you. All right, so my client is all massaged. We're gonna go ahead and get him situated. He's gonna be under the dryer, so it has a high setting and a low setting. We're gonna do low, and I'll say about 25-30 minutes, we'll come back and check on him. All right, my client's under the dryer, but another thing you're going to deal with is your client not keeping their head up. They're going to be texting, they're going to be doing everything else. So tell them they can text. Just pull the phone up so that their hair can get dry. See? You want to make sure that they're still getting dry. Okay, so my client's still in the dryer, but I'm going to show y'all some things that we need. First things first, a comb. So, you know the combs, the barber combs that are small, but then they, get bigger at the end. I like those, but this right here has been my absolute favorite. I just got it out. Make sure I disinfected everything. But I got this off of Amazon, and another loctician told me about it. I love the pointy edge. It's really good with parting, and it just glides through your hands. So you need a comb. Never know, might need. Locking gel, I live by locking gel. They have different kinds. They have one specifically for locks, and then this one says braiding gel, but that's all they had, so we're gonna use this today. Make sure you have your clips so you can clip hair out of the way. This is single prong, so this is really good for starter locks, but if you're doing like regular locks, I would definitely get the other clip. And then you're gonna want to tie their hair down when you're finished, but before you tie it down, you're gonna use mousse. So let me get my knot ready. Okay, these two together, a match made in heaven. I'm gonna show you how we pair these two, but these two together will ultimately take your starter lock game to a whole nother level. Okay, you're also gonna see that every client's hair texture is different. So I said about 25 minutes. It's been about close to 15, and his is about 80% dry. Some people, they may need the full 25 to 30 minutes. It just depends. Just make sure that you're engaged with your client and asking them if they're okay or if they need anything. All right, so we're about to get started on the first row. I also like to always have me some type of banana clips with me to keep the hair out of the way. So I'm gonna bring the camera a little closer. Perfect. All right, so I also like to wear this. Just make sure you're not double dipping in the product, because you never know. Your client could have something going on with their scalp. You double dipping and you putting it back in there. No, we're not doing it. So get you a generous amount. But when you place it on their head, you're not going to need that much. All right, lay your head down for me. So I'd like to just part off with my fingers. My client says he wants like medium. Not too big, not too small. So, and he's doing regular parting. So I would just take a little bit of product and put it on the hair, not the scalp, the hair. And the parting for the first row, it definitely depends on you. However, It's straight now. However, for me, I like to do the bottom row. I like to make sure it's even. So if it's going to be 2 back here, if it's going to be 4, 6, or 8, I like to make sure it's even, because I guarantee you, once your client is completely locked in 6 to 12 months, because it takes 6 to 12 months to fully lock. Some people may be sooner, some people may be longer. Me personally, when I had my locks, it took 1.5 years. It took 1 year for my whole head to lock, and then the 2 on the side, they didn't lock until like the 1.5 year mark. So make sure you tell your clients that that's normal. They might come to you and be like, oh my gosh, I don't think my hair is locking. Like, are you taking care of it? Are you taking care of you, honestly? Because your locks is a reflection of your life journey. Ooh, that's a word. So you're going to start by parting the hair off. And again, I like to just make this row even, just in case. Let me see if I can go all the way over. Yeah, we can go all the way over. So I'm going to start by doing starter locks. We're going to do 2 rows, and then we're going to do a barrel twist going this way so you can see how to do it zigzag. So you got your part. Your part nice and straight. You see how we have a little bit of locking gel up here, but none on the scalp. All right, so you're going to take your banana clip and clip this away. And then I'll take a few other clips just to make sure the hair is completely out of the way. So you pull it down, you see that the part is still straight. So I'm going to start with this one right here. So I just put a little bit at the roots. Again, on the hair, not the scalp, just a little bit, because we're going to go in with our Lock It Up Taliah Waajid. And this is kind of the consistency of it. It's kind of like a gel. I like it. I really like it. I think it does a lot for the locks. So you're going to take just a little bit. I probably got that much. And you're going to rub it together. And just go through, pull through the hair. Just a little bit. So that's going to cover me for at least 3 to 4 locks. And then you're going to take a little bit of your Nairobi. Shake it up. And you're going to do like 2 pumps. All right, you see how that's making the hair curl up? So we're going to work it all the way through, all the way through. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to pull the camera a little closer. Uh-oh. All right. So too, sometimes like if your client may have like it tapered or something, so you just make sure you brush it away. Make sure you have like a definite line so the barber knows where they need to cut. Also, always tell clients, unless you're the barber, they need to get their hair cut after the retwist, because say you retwist all this up or say they get a cut first and the barber doesn't cut all this, you're forced to put this in a lock and it may not fit, so it's not going to look the way you want it to look. So, pro tip, tell them to go to the barber after their appointment. All right, so we got about this amount of hair. And you're going to take the comb and you're going to pull the comb right to the front. See? Can you see? So you're going to take it and you're going to pull up and out towards you, and you're going to twirl. And you're going to twirl and keep the comb straight. So you see? And then it depends. Sometimes your clients may want curly ends. Sometimes some people may say, oh, I'm going to have coils or curly ends throughout the whole journey. That's perfectly fine. So you just keep twisting. Not too tight. You don't want to make sure, or you don't want to hurt your client. And then you're going to take your clip and you're going to clamp it right there. Y'all see that? All right, so that's 1. So we're going to go to 2. We're going to slow it down a little bit. And make sure you ask your clients like their history with like their scalp, their edges, just how do they take care of their hair, because locks is not for everyone. Everyone can start their locks, but if you don't take care of your scalp properly, or you think that it's a no maintenance hairstyle, then absolutely not. All right, so I'm gonna bring it a little closer this time. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna take the comb. See, we got the comb right here. We're gonna take the comb and we're going to twist and twist and twist. See that hair out there? You just move that hair out the way. That's what's gonna get cut when he goes to the barber. And twist and twist. And you take this little piece right here. If it's dry, or if you need a little bit more, you can get some of the Taliah Waajid, lock it up, and twist. And we clip. And make sure that you're just stretching it out and clip. Now, if you see a little bubble like that, you can just go back in and clip. And if you don't want to use too many clips, you can just take one of those clips and you can part it like this. But over time, you will get the hang of it. All right, so I'm just going to keep going through. And I'm going to speed it up. And you don't have to use a clip for every lock. However, I like the crisp look. I like to see, and it helps me to figure out how many locks my client actually has. Also, make sure you're washing your clips frequently. And make sure they dry completely, because they can rust over time. If they start rusting, just buy some new ones. They at the beauty supply store for like, I think the cheapest one might be like $3, like in between $3 to $12 probably. Just buy you something else. And again, you put the Taliah Waajid right here. I wouldn't put the locking gel right here just because it's gonna like straighten out the hair, and you want to keep it curly so that you can do your coils. And it's all in the flick of the wrist. You just flip, 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 flip. And it takes time, but I promise you, after the like fourth client, especially if you're just starting off, you're gonna be able to do this in your sleep. All right, so we got our first row. Another thing I like to do, I'll do this with starter locks or if they have mature locks. After I've got my row together, I take a little bit of the Nairobi and I just seal in the flyaways. And I move on to the next row. So you seeing how I have to pull apart here? So if his locks were mature, sometimes you might have clients where their hair is like married together at the root. You want to make it easier on yourself and easier on your client. Don't pull, don't, try to get it as straight as you can without breaking the hair. All right, when it comes to marketing, how I got my start, I think my baby was 6 months old. I took him everywhere with me, and we just went to beauty supply store after beauty supply store and dropped off business cards. Um, Sometimes I might be out to eat. I might airdrop my business card or a flyer to people around me. Um, but honestly, what really got me to start and the exposure that I needed was a barbershop. So make sure you're going somewhere where locks is requested and it's a high demand. Also, if you're just starting off in a barbershop or you're just starting off in a hair salon, don't worry. The client's going to come because God wouldn't have given you the vision and not provide the clientele. But you just have to show up literally to work. Even when I didn't have clients, I would show up to the barbershop. Sometimes I would style my own locks just because I was bored. But then every time after I would style my locks, somebody would come up to me and say, "Oh, can I have a card? My cousin has locks. He's looking for somebody." Or, "I want to start locks and I want you to start them." I had a guy come up to me. I probably been at the barbershop for like a week. I probably had less than 10 lock clients my whole lock career at this point. And he came up to me saying, "I want wigs one day and I want you to start them." I didn't know how to do no wigs, but I told him, "Okay, I got you. I got you." I told him, "I'm booked up now, but I got you in 6 months." I made sure that I learned how to do wigs. So when he came back to me, I didn't have to send him off. I could actually provide that service. So, and he's my only wig client right now. But yeah, just make sure that you're showing up to work. Cause how people gonna book you if they can't see what you do? They don't know what you look like. They don't know what you provide, and that way you can build like a rapport, some type of connection. People be like, "Oh yeah, that's Lavender. I don't have locks, but I can send somebody to her who wants locks." All right, so you're gonna take a little bit, just a little bit, and again you're gonna put it at the roots. You're just trying to get the roots to lay down, basically. And it's on the hair, not the scalp. And I'm gonna go in with my Lock It Up, and I rub it together. I'm gonna go through all of the hair. And I'm gonna get my Nairobi 2 pumps. You don't need a lot. We're gonna rake this through. And we're gonna do this row. So I bring it a little closer. Turn a little bit for me. There you go. All right, so we're gonna start with this edge. Make sure you brushing out all of the hair you want the barber to get. And you might take a little more just to sleek that down. You see how that sleeked that down? Oh, excuse me. So we're gonna go ahead and part. And you're gonna go up. Can you see that? You're gonna go up and over. Up and over. And when you get to the ends, we're just gonna twirl the end, seal that lock in. All right. And you see how it's a little bit of product, but not much. You don't want to put much product because you don't want your client having buildup. You might not notice the buildup the first go around, but by like the fourth, fifth time they come to you, you're going to start being like, what is all of this? Sometimes people think it's lint. Sometimes it is lint, but a lot of times it's buildup. And you can detox the hair. A detox, I tell people, is similar to like going to the dentist. You would go get a teeth cleaning every 6 months, so twice a year. The same with detox. If your scalp is like just like dirty, you work with a top hat or a hard hat or something like that. All right, so I'll take this out and show y'all again. You're gonna take it right here at the root, and you're going to flip, flip, flip. And you're going to keep going till you get to the end. And we're going to clip. And you see how this one is going, like, it's kind of blurred out. But you see how it's going to the side? It's because I retwisted to the side. So you don't want that. You want to always retwist straight down. See? And you're going to twist down. All right, I'm going to speed this up. All right, so your client may come to you and say, oh, I want to dye my hair. They can dye their hair before they start a locks. However, it is going to change the texture of their hair. So I would say no. And then, or they're going to want you to put the starter locks in and they're going to want to dye it. That'll be a quick way for it to unravel as well. So unless you specialize in color, I would just tell your clients to leave the locks how they are. They're beautiful. I know color is beautiful, but if you do not take care of your hair properly without locks in color, you just don't need to get the color. Color is a strong commitment. So I would advise anybody, if they're going to get color, they need to come to you for a consultation first, because they need to be able to commit to at least anywhere from 3 to 6 retwists after getting that color. Because if they come to you and they get you to bleach or whatever they want you to do to their locks, and then you don't see them again for 9 months, you best to believe if they're not taking proper care of their hair, something's gonna happen to their locks, and they're gonna say, man, I went down to Shakira and she don't know what she doing. She made my locks fall out. So make sure you have somebody who's committed to coming to you, and make sure that you're comfortable providing those services, because you might have people who will try to force you to do a service that you're uncomfortable with. I wasn't always doing locks. I started off doing passion twists, and I started off doing faux locks. Those two came easy to me. However, eventually I said, I don't want to sit here for hours doing one style. I want to be able to switch it up. But then I had people come to me saying, hey, can you cut my hair? Can you do this? Can you do that? And sometimes I would say, yeah, just thinking like, oh, let me go ahead and get this quick money. All money ain't good money. And secondly, you're your own boss. You get to say what you want to do and what you're not going to do. So again, find something that speaks to you. You might be someone who wants to provide lock extensions. You might be somebody who only wants to do starter locks. There are locticians who don't like to do starter locks. So, there's always a need for a new loctician, but especially someone who wants to do starter locks. Again, just make sure if you put in your stamp on it and it's your work, it's what you want to do, and it's the best that you can provide. All right, so this is how we're looking so far. I'm going to finish up this one. And his hair isn't dry, but I'm going to show you how to do barrel twists. So we're going to do barrel twists going this way. And also with the barrel twist, depending on the style, you want to retwist in that direction. So you always take your comb and you retwist to the right. However, if his barrel twists were going up, like if his barrel twists were starting right here at his nape and going up, then I would have retwisted still to the right, but they just would have been going up. So you'll see more of that on a mature lock client. I think we're going to do one more row. Do we want to do one more row? Yeah, we're going to do one more row. If you mess up, it's okay to tell your clients, hey, I didn't really like the parts that I did, I can fix that for you. Or, hey, you let me know if you like how your hair looks. I'll be open to, changing some things if you want to, but just be completely honest. You don't want anyone walking around the city looking crazy saying that you was playing in their head. Some advice: find someone who is in the direction you're trying to go. Like, so if you're trying to own salon suites, find someone who can help you get into real estate or can point you in the right direction. If you want to own your own salon, find someone who owns their own salon. Even if the salon isn't up to your par, I guarantee you will learn how to run a business, how not to run a business, how to gain clientele, how to keep clientele. You learn so much in a shop. So even if your clientele isn't there, if your hustle is there, you're going to get what you need. All right, so that concludes our starter lock session. You'll learn more when we get into the matured locks, but that's the basics for starting locks. When it comes to products, I've tried out a lot of lock products, and I always get the best quality from Lock and Gel. Definitely trying to find something that's, bless you. Oh, definitely trying to find something that's a lot safer. It's not bad, but you get what I'm saying. Some products are a lot looser. This is what the Lock and Gel consistency is. When it comes to starting your clientele, don't be afraid to, some marketing websites. Make sure that you subscribe to Canva. You need to have like a year subscription because they have a lot of templates, and it's really the best templates when you have the pro account. Also, Poster My Wall is really good. Camp Cut is really good. You want to just make sure that you market yourself as best as you can because Instagram, social media is where a lot of people are going to find you. And when you do start getting that clientele, ask them, hey, where did you find me? Some might say, oh, you were recommended. Some may say, I found you through a Facebook ad. Some may say, I found you on Google. But you want to know where your clientele is coming from so that you can push more in those areas. All right, so I didn't finish this side, but we got our 3 rows. Oh, you have that? Perfect. So I'm going to just start taking these clips out because we're going to do a barrel twist. And that's okay. You see how they bounce back? It's because they're not completely dry yet. But I'm going to just show you for reference. So you typically wouldn't take all the clips out until they're from under the dryer or if you're about to style. It's good to style, like retwist the whole head, then style them, and then put them back under the dryer. They need to be under the dryer for like 10 minutes. But again, if your client's not holding their head up, they're going to be under there longer because you need to make sure all of the foam dries and you got to make sure that the style sits. All right, so tilt your head back for me. All right, so this is how we got our 3 rows. And so basically the first part of a barrel twist is a 2-strand twist. So, and sometimes I might use the clips like just to hold them up for the time being. Okay, hold your head. All right, so you got the starter right here. And we got number 2 right here. So what you're going to do is just make sure it's not too tight. And you're going to take the 2-strand And then you're going to get number 3. Again, just making sure it's not too tight. And then you're going to take the next one. And you're going to do the next one. And then, so you're always going to go from right to left, until you get to your desired. So now we got right. And so when I pick one up from the left, then I pick up for the right. So you see this? This is what I mean about retwist up. So let me go ahead and show you. So if retwist up, we're still retwisting to the right. However, we're taking it back this way. So that way, it's flawless. It's going straight up, okay? And again, checking in with your client, making sure it's not too tight. It will be tight, and that first retwist is going to be tight. After they get their starter locks and they fall in love, that first retwist is going to be like, welcome to the lock community. All right, so then you're going to get another one, and you're just going to keep lapping over. So right and left. Right, then left. So I'm going to pause that right there. And we're going to take it back up. So I'm retwisting up, but it's still going to the right. See how that barrel twist is looking? And you just keep on coming back. If his hair was more mature, you might even 2-strand twist this part all the way down, but we're doing fine right now. All right, and this is what our barrel twist is looking like. And so you could do these. For his length, I would probably do barrel twists all the way back and then put them in a little bun right there. All right, so that concludes our starter lock session. You'll learn more when we get into the matured locks, but that's the basics for starting locks. Okay, here is my starter locks guide. I go over this with all of my clients during the consultation. You can take a screenshot if it shows up. But basically, I just tell them that a style is suggested in the beginning stages. Now, sometimes they might be like, oh, I want to let it hang. Okay, but keep your hands out your hair. Like, I don't want to hear, oh, it's coming undone, blase, blase. It's best to have a style, especially if the hair is shorter. But to each his own, but 90%, yes, get a style. In the beginning stages, you need to get a retwist every 3 to 4 weeks when it comes to starter locks. Sometimes, I know for me personally, when I have my locks, sometimes I would go 2 months. Sometimes I might even go 4 or 5 months. But I can do my own hair, so I can, you know, the pain, it was paining. But I was able to still do my hair. Now, if you have a client coming to you, if I haven't seen you in 3 months, we're going to have to reestablish parts, and it's going to be a whole thing. So you can't upcharge if you have to go in and reestablish a foundation if they've been MIA. Let them know if they do go to somebody else to retwist to the right. But also they need to stick to one person, not because it's going to help you out, but it's going to help them out. Their locks are going to be all kinds of confused. That's like when you have a child and the child being watched by everybody except for the mama, the one who created it. Now you got a whole mess, and they bring it back to mama, and mama got to fix. You get upcharged for that. No conditioner. Like, I may start putting a little bit of conditioner in my client's hair when they've been locked for like a year plus, a year and a half. And that may just be to soften up the roots if I want to go in, but no conditioner, especially starting out. Have patience. The confidence will find you. Joining the lock community, it's a community. So you get so much confidence because you walk around in the world with your hair. Sometimes you might want to just be a Rasta. Like I said, I would go 5-6 months without a retwist, but who was going to check me? So again, the confidence will find you. you will get a firmer backbone, and you honestly build like a layer of like, I'm not taking no mess. Like, I'm not taking none. Hydrate as needed. You can use an oil to seal the moisture, but remember, you're not just saturate your hair with oil and it's already dry. You're just gonna make it even more dry. So again, something they could do that's cheap, easy, and can be homemade. Get you a little misting bottle. Get you some water. Pink Himalayan salt. Put you a few pinches in there. If you going out the country, you might even want to get a little water, something in there, something that's good. Shake it up, and you're going to spritz your hair. And when you spritz your lock, make sure that you're going all the way around and you're saying affirmations. I am wealthy. I know that I am wealthy. Wealth is all around me. I am happy. I am healed. Like, all of your affirmations. If you need more tips, you can go to Lavender Locks _ on Instagram. We have the crystal of the week. We have the chakra of the week. Just something that helps you, again, because it's not just a head journey, a lock journey. It's a lifestyle. There is a book called Hair Locking, Everything You Need to Know. I'll show it to you. Give me a second. This is Hair Locking. You can find this book. It will tell you everything about the mature stage, the teenage stage, everything you need to know, the different styles you can get, the different things that people say that aren't true, the different myths. It gives you the history of locks. So this is a good book as well. And also, invest in a silk or satin pillowcase and scarf. So like I said, when you book Starter Locks with me, as long as supplies are in, you get a silk pillowcase. So that's something that you can throw out to your clients as well. It's like, oh, this is my price for Starter Locks, but a style is included, or the silk pillowcase is included. Just giving them something, making their journey something that they will always remember. And the price range, it really depends on you. Some Starter Locks may start at $150. I've seen Starter Locks that go all the way to $400. So it depends on the length. It depends on you, what you think you worth. If you think you worth $100 for a Starter Locks, then $100. But if you think you $375 worth for a Starter Locks, do that. But also, the price has to match the quality. So you can't just be telling people these crazy numbers and then, their little cousin sick, she probably could have did better. So you just have to be strategic. You have to be confident in yourself, because you may have clients who, they might challenge you. They might be like, oh, like, my sister-in-law do it for $25 and she better than you. Okay, and that's fine. But this is me. So again, you just have to have that backbone. Remember that you are a business owner. This is a business. This is not just like a side hustle. Unless it is. It could be a side hustle that turned into a business. But again, it's your baby. When a baby goes to the doctor's office, only the mama or the daddy, but only the mama has a say-so into raising this child or what's best for this child. And that's you as a loctician. You got to know your stuff. You got to back it up. And you got to have confidence. I promise you, the client's going to be like, please squeeze me in, squeeze me in. I remember there was times where I used to beg, basically, like when I first got started, texting people like, hey, can I do your hair? Sometimes I would get a response, sometimes I wouldn't. To then God coming in and changing my life drastically to now I got people saying, can you squeeze me in? What is the squeeze-in fee? That's another thing. You can have a squeeze-in fee if you want to. I'm willing to pay $200 right now on top of my service fee so that you can style me. I've recently relocated to Atlanta, coming from Augusta. Had clients that said, hey, there's locticians in Augusta, but I specifically wanted what you provide. I want the service, the environment, the conversation that Lavender provides. So they drive 2.5 hours. Even when I was in Augusta, I had people driving from Atlanta to Augusta to get their hair done. So if you believe in yourself and you believe that the client's going to come, nobody can stop that but you. I believe in you, girl.
Went from like
Welcome to part 2 of Locked Up with Big Lav. So now we're going to see how to style a client who has mature locks. So basically he wanted 4-strand twists. So you're just going to palm roll 4 locks, and then you're going to put 2 in your right hand, 2 in your left hand, and you're going to twist, twist, twist all the way down. And you're going to ask your client, do they want their ends tucked neatly or do they want their ends fanned out? It's totally a preference thing. Most people say tuck, but I have had some people say they want their ends out for length. So if you're going to tuck them, either way, you use the rubber band. You don't need to go over more than 2 times, maybe 3, because sometimes clients can keep styles in like this. It's not recommended to keep it in 8 weeks, but I've had clients who were like, Lav, I kept it in for 8 weeks. And they didn't have any problems, but I'm pretty sure anything after that mark, your locks would start to lock with the rubber bands, and we don't want that. All right, so again, we're just parting. So he does have mature locks, so the part is already there versus starter locks. We're having to create the part, but you don't want to tear their hair because then you're going to interfere with the integrity of the lock. So you just want to part, like push away as many flyaways as you can, and then you're going to grip the root and you're going to palm roll all the way down. I like to do it 3 times all the way down. It depends on how long their locks are, but if their locks are long enough, 3 plus, definitely all the way in to seal. And you see how it's kind of bulgy at the root? That will definitely come undone once we are finished with our twist. So again, you're just going to twist down, right over left, right over left. Some do left over right. It's a little more challenging that way, but again, it's a preference, so whatever you like. So we're going to tuck the ends and we're going to seal it in, and I did it 3 times with the rubber band, and you see how neat that's starting to look. So yeah, I like to retwist like 4 at a time. I know some people would probably do a whole row and then another whole row and then twist them together, but I'm like, find 4 locks, retwist them, palm roll them all the way down, twist them together. You'll get the hang of it once you get to like your second or third client. And you see there, it's just a slight tug, because if you tug too hard, you will hurt your client and eventually you will hurt your hand. So I'm just using my comb, and those combs are linked on my Amazon storefront. You can find them in my bio of at Kenesha Tiana _ and at Lavenderlocks _ But yeah, I'm going to sit here and just let y'all watch my technique. And as you see, I have the Nairobi, the foam. I've used other foams before, but Nairobi just gets the job done every time. So after I complete a row, I go in and I lay the flyaways down with Nairobi. But majority of your flyaways should be taken care of with your locking gel or whatever product you're using. This is just like an extra hold. And I start at the back, just so when I get to the top and I want to put my holding mousse at the top, I'm not neglecting the back parts. So again, we're just going to keep retwisting down. And he actually DM'd me this picture on Instagram. He wanted the back like 4-strand twist and the top to be barrel twist, like a half up, half down thing. And honestly, the end results eat. Like, this is so cute. I can't wait till he gets a little more length. It's definitely going to take it to the next level. But I had so much fun recreating this look. And get creative. Like, one day you might just be playing around like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to style it this way. A lot of times clients might even come to you and say, I don't know what I want. Do whatever. Like, I would say 76% of the times my clients sit in my chair and say, I trust you, Lav, do whatever you want. And the other percentage, they want 2-strand twist. But yes, I'm gonna move. All right, I'm blocking away and whatnot. So yes, also, y'all hear the plane. Also, another thing you need to do to set you apart from other stylists, because there are hundreds and thousands of locticians and just hairstylists in general, and everybody dibbling dabbling in locks, is like, get you a foundation with your social media. Create a page that makes people want to know more about you, but makes people want to invest in you, not just the service you have to offer, but you. All right, so we're moving forward to the barrel twist. And at this point, I'm just going to retwist as many as I can. Well, I'm going to retwist all of them, and then I'm going to start. And how you start a barrel twist is actually a 2-strand twist. So you take 2 locks together, and then you're going to 2-strand them down, and then you go from right to left. So every time you pick up a lock from the right side, you pick up a lock from the left side. Pick up a lock from the right side, pick up a lock from the left side. And you just keep going all the way till you get to the end. And again, you're going to rubber band it, but it's no need for like excessive 8 times around, because you don't want the rubber band to break off into the lock. 1 to 2 to 3 times, and you're good to go. All right, so I'm just finishing up the beginning. I'm finishing up the beginning process, which is the retwist. The style always comes separately, and it's up to you. I prefer to retwist my client's whole head and then foam them down and put them under the dryer. Some people like to retwist the whole head, put them under the dryer, then style them. I like to do it all in once. Retwist, style, under the dryer. All right, so we made it to the last lock. Y'all, we had so much fun creating this style. He's happy about his length. I'm happy about his length. He started off with he was getting them interlocked like the first 6 months of his lock journey, and then I would say he came to me around almost a year, and we've been palm rolling ever since, and his locks are just, they're actually thriving. So you're going to take one from the right, and the product will definitely dry once we're under the dryer. But you see how I started with the 2-strand twist in the beginning, and then I did left over right, right over left. So you just kind of got to do what makes sense. Like, no lock left behind, in a sense. You don't want to move forward and then be like, oh dang, I haven't been retwisting from the right this whole time. Now it's looking kind of, janky a little bit. So you want to make sure that you're being completely fair to both sides. And y'all see that football game in the background? Shout out to NCCU. Eagle Pride, baby. Alright, so we're still retwisting. And move them out the way if you need to. You see how it's all coming together. And it all started with a 2-strand twist at the beginning. Also, if your client wants to get a taper or, wants to do anything funky with the front, leave them low-key some edges out. Like, leave enough so their barber is not creeping into their locks, because sometimes barbers can snip unintentionally into somebody's locks, and then their hair starts to thin. And once that roof thins, you kind of like, nah, let me go ahead and cut it off. So we finished up, and this is our final product. How cute.